and welcome once again. But hold on one moment, please, because we want to make sure that we get everyone. And I don't see some individuals in particular, so just bear with me one moment. I'm very sorry. Okay, so for whatever reason, we're having some technical difficulties, and that's okay because we are going to make it happen just the same. We're just going to go back out momentarily, and we will be right back. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much once again. Not really sure what is happening specifically, but I believe right now we should be on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. I am trying to bring you back in. But if we can't, I will make sure that you get streamed after as well. But anyway, great leaders adjust, and spiritual warfare is real. It is at its finest. But anyway, let's just keep it going. So great evening and welcome to episode number 142 of the Sonya Dungee podcast, which is sponsored by Always Destined for Greatness LLC. And here on the Sonya Dungee podcast, our conversations are always the essence of the soul. I am your host, Sonya Dungee, and yes, we're still bringing the heat to the YouTube, Facebook, and IG streets. So I want to tell you how excited that I am. I'm literally holding myself down. This has been a very long time coming, but before we begin, if you can put in the chat where you are joining in from, and if you are getting value tonight, please drop a V in the comments, and if you can relate, an R as well. And we would sure like to know if you had an aha moment or a breakthrough as well. So tonight, we have the privilege of being in the presence of a true visionary leader. Our guest speaker has dedicated her career to helping others pursue their life's purpose and fulfilling their dreams. JOYCE DUNGEE-PROCTOR is the CEO of Seminars by JOYCE, the Total You Incorporated, and has successfully spearheaded numerous initiatives and has a profound impact with over 2 decades of leadership, business management, and training, human resource experience. JOYCE is a speaker, professional development consultant, and an author. I have been so looking forward to this evening for some time now. So let's just put the elephant out of the room. You're seeing the name Dungee, and yes, my name is Dungee, also last name, and yes, we are related, but that's not why we're here. We're here on the merits of what we are going to learn tonight. So, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our special guest, Joyce Dungee-Proctor.
Hi.
Great evening. Hello. Welcome. And
How are
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Thank you so much.
you? Are welcome.
Okay.
I am so excited to be here. And where I see the blessing before you even get into it is that, we've been following one another and supporting one another, but God would have it at this divine time, his timing, that we would come together today. And so for that, I am forever grateful and thankful. I love how you're empowering people. I just love the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you,
My
thank you, thank you so much. And I've been watching you, so I'm learning and growing also. So I want to thank you so much for being that forced in the midst of all that's been going on and the spiritual warfare out there, and that your presence means so much, and what you do and the lives that you are changing. And I don't want to tell, I think I've told them a whole lot, so I really want you to do some talking now. So I have a question for you. I want
Okay.
to know, besides everything else that I mentioned, okay, who exactly is Joyce Dungee-Proctor?
Joyce Dungee-Proctor is a woman of God, of great faith. She is the daughter of two amazing parents. She is the sister of four, and she is the wife of over 36 years, and mother and grandmother. And she's
Whew,
born to
girl.
serve. I believe that
Yes.
God has given me a gift to serve, to serve, to help others, to
Yes.
pour into others.
Yes. That is very important. And you see me, like, I'm shaking right now out of excitement. Like, I want to explode because um, I truly believe that we all have a life purpose. And God has helped us create the story, the things that we've gone through in our lives to get to where we are today. And I'm just super, super excited, grateful. I can keep going on and on, because when I think back 4 years ago, I didn't have someone to look up, to follow, that I knew of. And you've secretly become one of my mentors. You just didn't know that till today. So yes, thank you. So for sure, because when I started out, I mean, I was broken. I was smiling on the outside, and I was broken on the inside, and I didn't admit it. I didn't do anything about it for 342 days. And after that, when I said enough is enough and I can't go on doing this anymore, I didn't have a direction. I didn't know where to go, where to turn. And I didn't have anybody in social media that I could follow and listen to that would help me um, lift up and rise beyond my brokenness. And so, yes. And so through the years, I've had to invest in myself, and I've had to um, invest not only in myself, but in a mentor and in a community of supportive people, and take classes and do so many things. And then I found you. And so I've been following you as well. And I can tell you that my speaking has really been uplifted and changed. And I'm no longer none of that. So I want to thank you for that so much. Just keeping it 100. So I know we can go on and on and on, but time won't permit it, unfortunately. So I want to thank you for this book, this incredible
You
book.
are welcome.
It's you told me you were going to send me something. I'm like, what is she going to send me? And then as soon as I ripped that envelope, I got busy, as you can see. And I have so many, I don't know if you can see it, but I have so many bookmarks in here. And I really want to get into this because this book is everything. When I mean everything, I'm not saying it because of the relationship of a cousin. I'm saying it because it's truthful and it's an easy read. And I was able to go through it and through it and through it again. And my grandson, I caught him going to touch it. I was like, no, Namari, don't touch it. I was like, this is golden. Like, no.
Don't do that, right?
I hurried up and I put it away. I put it up. But I always keep it out and I'm always flipping through it and I'm always reading it. And so I really want to be able to talk about this because, like I said, this is definitely the time where we take the limits off. And so if you don't mind, I want to ask you, well, first, before I even do that, I really want to ask you, what brought you to where you are today? What was the catalyst? Why do you do what you do? And what caused you to write this tremendous book of everything, easy read, handbook, you name it, it's all of that?
Well, part of it, I would be remiss if I don't thank you. So thank you. It is humbling to hear the amazing things that you shared with me, but also it stands to say that you never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching. The book was birthed out of a place where I was speaking and doing seminars. And at the end of several seminars, everyone said, well, how can we stay in touch with you? How can we stay inspired? How can we stay motivated? I mean, what else is there? What else can we do? And do you have a book? And so I was like, well, no, I don't have a book. And I would leave feeling like I had failed my following, so, I go to the seminars, I get everybody inspired and motivated, and then it's like letting the air out of the balloon. And these were attendees that wanted to continue to develop themselves. And after a lot of thought and prayer, I started saying, you know what, I'm going to write a book. So I started to talk about it, and I started to talk about it over and over. But what happened is that I talked about it, but I didn't do it. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but I was talking about it and I didn't do it. And I said, you know what? Maybe in my mind, I'm not the best writer, but let me use what I have right now, where I'm at in my life, and do the best that I can. Let me partner with someone else that can help me to give birth to this book, to empower and encourage other people. And I cannot even make this up. I went to a big conference in Pennsylvania, and I was a little bit late. I walked through the different workshops, and I was outside of the door listening to decide what workshop I would go into. And I heard this dynamic speaker, and I'm still in contact with her. She's out of Jacksonville, Florida. And keep in mind, this was 2009. And I heard her, and I was like, I was drawn into the room. I walked into her seminar, and at the end, I went up to talk to her at her book table. And I said to her, can you give me a couple pointers on how to write a book? Where do I start? I had never met her before. And she was so forthcoming. She was so supportive. She even gave me the phone number to her ghostwriter right there on the spot.
Wow.
The rest is history. I literally left that event, went home, probably within that week, reached out to schedule an appointment with her ghostwriter to help me to structure myself, to hold me accountable to myself, to produce this book in 90 days.
90 days.
And that's the story in 90 days. And I think the blessing in this whole process is that I was supposed to be at that conference. Nothing just happens. I was supposed to go into her workshop. It was not a coincidence. And I am forever grateful to her. But you can't hold back. You have to go and reach out to get what you need from other people. People will openly support you if you ask them. But fast forward, I partnered with a ghostwriter, and he talked to me and he said, "What is it that you're passionate about?" And it was real easy. I had an amazing seminar that I had received great feedback, great results, great action steps that people would take to move forward after leaving this particular seminar. It was one that was requested over and over, and it was titled "Take the Limits Off," right? And so, you know what I did? I just took my top seminar and I added something that was a little bit more personal to me, which was stop talking and start doing. And at that time, look, at that time, like taking the limits off was like really, really, really something that I really held on to. And for me, that was letting go and letting God, activating my faith like never before, having the courage to just do what I could with what I had, not having to be perfect, not having to feel like I had to compete with anyone, just doing the best that I could to produce this book, to stop talking about it and to start doing it. And that's it. That's the story. That part.
That's an outstanding, incredible story. And
that part.
And I truly believe that nothing happens by accident. And like you said, you were meant to be in that room. You were meant to hear that speaker, and everything else fell into its purpose. And like I say, I don't push my faith on anyone. However, I am a woman of faith and I talk about it. So Proverbs 3-5-6 has been my go-to. I say I Proverbs 3-5-6 it all day, every day. So I truly, truly believe that. And it got you to where you are today. And in me reading just the accolades, just what people have been saying, it's very clear that you've touched lives. It's very clear what you're doing. And I want to start going through it a little bit, but I don't want to go through the whole book because then no one else is going to have anything to read, and they have to get their own. So in this, you said, you gave in your prologue why you wrote the book, and you said that your goal is to share some tools that will help to pursue your life's purpose and fulfill your dreams, tools that have worked well for me and that I believe can work just as well for you. And further along, you talk about no limits, and I said I'm not telling them everything, but the fact of the matter is, we're speaking from experience. You've already gone through it. You've already done it, and now you're coming back to walk in your purpose and to answer to the voices that you were called to serve, and giving yourself permission to dream big.
Yes,
that is empowering by itself. Especially, we've been talking so much about resilience in 2025, and it's just so fitting that people have dreams, they have aspirations, they dead them. They just turn off the noise, I should say, because they're stuck at things that have happened in their life, and then they feel like they were either deserving of it or everything else comes before them, and they don't know how to become unstuck to be able to move forward. And in the situation of grief, especially, it's very hard to soak in and let go of the fact that when we're grieving, that person that we're grieving for, we know where they've gone.
Yes.
And we still are here, and we still have a purpose, and it's our duty to be able to move forward in purpose. That's why we're here. We beat out 299 million for a purpose. And that was something that was very hard for me until I was able to finally let go, and I was able to draw closer in my faith and to realize to be absent from the bodies, to be present with the Lord. And when I held my dad's hand and I watched that tear come down his cheek, and he took that last breath here and that first breath in heaven, it was already mapped out. It was already said for me, but I just couldn't accept it for my own selfishness. But but when we realize that, and that it's okay to live, it's okay to move forward, and it's okay to go after those dreams and those goals that we once had. So there's no selfishness in that, and you kind of reiterate that in the book as well. So I love that. Give yourself permission to dream big.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And in order to do that, because a lot of times people stop dreaming. You think because you're an adult that you don't dream anymore. But I mean, literally sitting in the course of the day and daydreaming, dreaming about things that could possibly happen, dreaming about the desires of your heart. And I talk about also in the book, spending time with yourself, scheduling that time so that you're spending quality time with yourself so that you can listen to your life. If you listen to your life and you're still and quiet enough, it will give you the blueprint along the way. But there's so much noise because life is so consuming. And that's why you have to be intentional about scheduling time with yourself.
Yes. And I hope everybody's listening. And if not, you're going to catch this on the replay. You might want to replay that again, because that's something that is hard for us to do, to spend quiet time by ourselves, because we do get consumed in life when we do put everybody else first, and self included. I've had to learn. And but when you take that time with yourself and you listen to yourself, and we talk about blueprint, life blueprint, and all of that, that is what helped me to get into the direction in which I'm still going. I'm not fully there. I'm always going to be traveling down a path, but that quality time by yourself, closing out all the noise, it means so much. It's uplifting, it's empowering, and you're also spending time with God. And that's something that I just came to the realization of last year. I never even prayed for myself before. It was always everyone else. So every single thing that I've been reading in your book and what you're talking about is just giving that validation. And I hope it's validating the same for the rest of you that are watching or be watching the replay as well. Like, take heed and listen. There's four voices. We've talked about that many times, okay?
Yes.
And we know the number one voice is God. Number two is our voice. Number three is others. There's nothing wrong with listening to the opinion of someone else, but at the end of the day, your voice, but God's voice, your voice. And that fourth voice, I don't even discuss. I don't bring any light to that whatsoever, and never will.
Don't give it any power.
No, we have enough going on already. There's enough spiritual warfare. We don't need to have any of. If you're going to give something power, give yourself empowerment, and give God the glory. Give Him first and foremost the power. And then I'm skipping a little bit. I even wrote some notes on purpose.
That's fine.
I wrote notes on purpose because, let's see. Okay, so then we get to step 5. conduct a SWOT, if I'm saying that correctly,
The
analysis.
SWOT
Not that.
analysis. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, SWOT? And then I read this. Can you just speak a little bit about? I
The
love.
SWOT analysis.
I love this analysis.
Oh no, and that's needed. So you're going to speak to what your strengths are, recognize what your strengths are, right? And those are the things that come to you naturally. Those are the things that you do well. Um, some of them are also gifts. And so sometimes we know them and sometimes we don't. Sometimes you have to partner with someone else to help you to understand what they are. But those are your strengths. Your weaknesses, which I reference as areas of opportunities, areas of improvement. And as we grow on our life and professional development journey, we will always have an area of growth that we want to focus on because we want to be stretched and we want to be challenged. So you want to know what they are. And then opportunities. Opportunities are opportunities for you where you can show up and utilize your strengths and your gifts to make an environment, a person, or yourself better. And then threats, things that are out there that come against you, so that you know what those threats are, so that you can take a proactive approach to overcoming them. So it's your strengths, your weaknesses, and your opportunities and threats. And you can do that in your business, your personal life, but it's good to stay up to date because at different seasons in our lives that could change. And also understanding that life is a journey. It is simply a journey, and we're going to have ups, we're going to have downs, we're going to celebrate, we're going to be happy, we're going to be sad. But the key is to create and understand your foundation so that you're able to come back to that, so that you can bounce back when life happens. So I reference that as knowing thyself first and better than anyone else.
Yes. I am going to, with my little note, I have my office over here, and I am going to fix this to my screen with some of my other reminders, and I'm going to look at this every day because this is everything. This is a reminder for me, and I hope it reminds all of you as well, and keep going back to it. And you if I were you, I would also pick up this book, but we're going to talk some more first. We're going to talk. Okay. So then we went to, I don't want to give it all away, but let me tell you the 4 types of people. When I read that, your explanation of the 4 types of people, I was like, yeah, I know some
yeah.
of them. And then some of them, and oh yes, and definitely some of those. Yes, the supporters. I'm just going to talk about the supporters. Yes, I know who my supporters are, but the other 3, I wish I would have had this some years ago, because boy was I naive. Everybody was my friend. Everybody was my friend, but I took some lumps and bruises to learn better. But my grandmother always told me that everybody was my friend, pretty much. But yeah, love it, love it, love it. Yes, you guys are wondering what we're talking about. You just keep wondering.
It's good. I would tell you that's good, and that's based on real life truth, right? A lot of that has come from experience, and you may not have mentioned it, but again, that trusted circle, there's a trust circle within the book, and it's really important to have that, because you really want to assess the people that are in your life, because they can have a direct impact on you. And we don't have to name every single one of the 4, but it is very important to be your life and who's not, for sure, and the roles that they play, and what they're bringing, because it's not always every season that people should be in your life. It could be a season, a reason, or a lifetime, and it's good for you to be able to assess that and to know that sooner than later.
Yes, absolutely. I taught my children what
I say 4.
Yes. Oops, sorry about that. I'm reading some of the comments, and they're already questioning, where do we find the book? We didn't get there yet. But the other comments is scheduling time is a little challenging, but I love it. I love scheduling time with myself. And where do we find the book? Keep watching. You're going to know just where to find the book. So there we are. Yes, it's that carrot dangling. I'm sorry. And part of what you just talked about, without, I don't want to give it all away, but identifying your dream team. And then I am going to show this.
Yes.
I'm going to show this. So throughout, you probably really can't see it, but throughout the book, as you go through each of the sections, there is a, I call this a handbook as well. It's many things to me, but there's like for section notes. So as you read, you can take notes, and there's questions for you to answer. So you will be stretched. It's an easy read, but you will be stretched if you really take the time to read it. And that's what I really love about it, is being stretched. So let's see. What else did I have here in my notes? Okay. So in step 8, I love that create an initial plan with an accountability partner.
Yes. That's everything. That's everything. Having someone that can hold you accountable to yourself, someone that you trust, as a trusted advisor, someone who's not always going to tell you everything you want to hear, but may tell you what you need to hear. But more importantly, someone that you give permission to speak into your life, because everybody does not have that platform. You have to give people permission to speak into your life. So this is an earned position, and it's not to be taken lightly. We set out to do goals. We set out to pursue our dreams. And one of the number one problems is that we're not consistent. We fall off the wagon, per se. We get stuck, like you said. But if you've got someone to hold you accountable, to kind of give you a nudge and say, hey, Joyce, hey, Sonya, you know what? Come on, get back in the game. Where are you at? Let's check in once a week. Let me, let's do some drive-by accountability conversations. Let's have some drive-by accountability conversations. Let's give yourself a timeline to complete something, and then let's follow up on that. So again, having someone that can hold you accountable, and you're being held accountable to yourself, a trusted advisor that you're going to give permission to speak into your life to help you get there.
Absolutely. My sister and I, we're accountability partners to a fault. We speak all day, every day. We're as close can be. But we also are in an iconic attraction mastermind class, in which we have been for quite some time now. And so we speak before class, we speak after class, we do our homework together. And we hold each other up more than anything. So if she doesn't see me posting or something, if I don't see her, I'm like, hello, and what I love about a true accountability partner is, and I mentioned that on my podcast on Wednesday, is it's about no bull. They're going to call you on it. They're not going to be like, oh, okay. It's, no. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be to the standard that you should be, and that they know that you should be, they're going to call you out on it. And that's the type
I call it tough love.
Person. Yes. And that's in my community. It's like, I don't want any smoke, as I say. So I make sure that I stay accountable, but I have to stay accountable to myself as number one, because at the end of the day, it is about me. You can have an accountability partner, and that's wonderful. And yes, they will hold you accountable. But if you don't hold yourself accountable, what's the point of them even trying? It starts with you.
Yeah.
There's a need and there's a want. You have to need it and you have to want it more than anything else. And that's how you hold yourself accountable first. And this is a whole lot of accountability in it. And look at this. Stop teasing. I'm not teasing. We haven't got there yet.
Somebody said stop teasing.
Yeah, and guess who that's my sister. She's saying, stop teasing. I'm not.
Oh, is she? Oh, hi, sister.
Yes, that's Dawn, but we just have not got there yet. All right. So now to the back of the book. Okay.
Yes.
And I saved that for last. Well, actually, I really saved it for last because then I did look, but like I just looked at it, I'm like, oh, she's so beautiful. And then I went back because I was so into everything. I didn't want to forget anything. I took notes in my book, but then I went to the back of the book. I did. And I want to read that because this is so incredible. I've never read anything like this. I've never saw it in a book or listen, I'm not even going to ruin it, but I'm going to read this, okay? So it says, praise for Joyce Dungee-Proctor. I have heard that you can get a good idea of a person's character by seeing the people with whom they surround themselves. Yesterday, I saw a woman who put God first, surrounded by a loving family, great old friends, wonderful new friends, as well as clergymen and women who gathered around her to celebrate a wonderful milestone in her life. I have heard that you can get a good idea of a person's character by observing their work. Yesterday, I saw a woman on a day we came to celebrate her, feed our bodies with food, touch our hearts with stories of past heartache and triumph, inspire our minds to reach higher, and warm our spirits with reflections of God's mercy and love. She even wrote a book to inspire us all to teach highest and remove the self-imposed limits and boundaries so that we all can get where God wants us to be. I'm not finished yet.
Yes.
Some, when in the middle of a storm, lose their faith. But she told us that when things were rocky and it was really tough, she kept her faith. And God brought her through it stronger, better, and wiser. She said, I wouldn't change one thing. My heart is smiling and my soul is full of happiness. I am thankful that I got to witness Joyce's recipe for a fulfilling life. And that was by Ronald Jackson.
Amen.
But oh my goodness, I don't know what just came over me, but I know as I explained, I woke up, something's going on with my eye. And so that's why I was a little off in my reading. But all of a sudden, I'm trying to catch myself from crying. And then
Me too. I'm looking for something to wake my. That was a blessing.
Ernesto out, but oh my goodness.
Yes.
Joyce.
That was at my 50th. Now, you ready? That was at my 50th birthday celebration. And at my 50th birthday celebration, I launched my book. I wrote the book, but my husband didn't know. No one knew I wrote the book until I unveiled the cover at my 50th birthday celebration. And let me just add that was 15 years ago.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm very thankful. Yes, right? Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. This is raw. This is authentic. This is not rehearsed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just think it's important for people to know that everything is just not always shiny, right? It's not always shiny. Things aren't always as they seem, and that you never know what someone may be going through. And the other thing that I think is just paramount is that you find whatever that source is for you to get you through the storms of life, because there are going to be storms. It's life in general, but also understanding that, making every day count. operating in love and forgiveness, and doing the best you can right where you are, not trying to wait until there's a perfect landscape, just using what you have right where you are, and being kind and forgiving, not only to others, but to yourself. And the young man that wrote that, he sent the email at that time to his girlfriend, and she sent it to me. And when I read it, it warmed my heart so that I asked him permission to put it on the back of my book. So it wasn't even planned. This man wrote from his heart after being in the presence of just the Holy Spirit and all of the beautifulness that was going on. And I also share too that at that time, the church that I belong to and that I love so much, they believe that there is greatness on the inside of us, and that helped to inspire me and encourage me as well. Because when you hear it enough, you start to believe it. So I also say to believe in yourself, to take that away from this podcast, to understand that you don't have to go it alone, to reach out and get the support that you need. And you've gone on and on and on, Sonya, about just, you know, so many beautiful things that you said about me. And I feel those very beautiful things about you as well. And again, this did not just happen. This was meant to happen at this divine time. And when you listen to your life, you will understand why. And that's why it's so important to spend time with yourself, because there's a reason why we are together tonight on this podcast, pouring into others and finding it not robbery to do so. So I thank you, and I'm honored to be a part of your podcast as you diligently show up, whether you feel like it or not. You weren't feeling good. You barely had your voice, but it didn't stop you from being consistent. It didn't stop you from pouring into others. It didn't stop you from doing what you were called to do, because you know that there was someone out there that needed to hear what you had to say, and you did it anyway. And that's being obedient. That is being obedient. And don't stop, because there are rewards for people who do that. It's very easy for you to say, you know what, I don't feel well, I'm not going to show up, but you showed up anyway. And for that, I thank you and I appreciate you and I love you. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of your podcast. And I reference it as a ministry that you found when you lost your father in the presence, but you know where he is. And so thank you for doing this beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Got me crying over here. Didn't expect this, but that's the reason why. This is the reason why I show up. Like I said, my eyes bothering me. It's not bothering me that I can't perform. My daily activities, but it's a nuisance. Put it that way. And but I didn't want to touch it, do anything with it until after tonight. My luck, I wouldn't be able to see or whatever. But I just felt that it was important to be here, because you never know who's going to watch. You never know who needs to hear what it is that is being said. I was that person. Right. 4 years ago. I was looking, searching, didn't know where to turn to, who to speak to. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk to my family about it because I knew they were grieving. But had I had something to refer to like this podcast and somebody like you, Joyce, that I can turn to and listen to and allow you to pour into me, it would have made all the difference. And I would not have been stuck for so long, 342 days, before I even took the first step to do anything different. But at the same time, I feel that the things that have gone on in my life, from domestic violence and neglect and everything else to get me to where I am today, is for a reason. It's that path. And my dad, yes. I feel like I had this, I don't know how to explain it. Like, my dad was talking to me and told me that he left me this gift. And I understand, and I know what this gift is. This is what I'm doing because I love people, and I want to help the masses, and I want them to be the very best versions of themselves. So I help people that are struggling in hardship and grief and life challenges go from suffering in silence with no voice, with no direction, no purpose, to be able to move forward, to go to be the very best version of themselves, to excel in anything and everything that they want to do, and even to achieve economic independence so that they can live in their purpose and be destined for their greatness. And that's why I do what I do every single day, whether I'm live or I am pouring my heart into others. And I thank you so much for doing the same. And I thank you for being there. And like I said, you didn't know because I didn't tell you till this evening, but you've been a mentor to me. And I watch you and I listen to you, and I check out every time I see your name pop across my screen, and whether it's a story or whatever it is. And I thank you for this book that my sister is saying that we are teasing her. She also said you're both beautiful women. God bless you both. Thank you so much. And I want to say you
Thank
look
you.
amazing. I was calculating a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm analytical. I am analytical. And when you said how long ago and I calculated, I was like, what?
I'm
I was like,
65.
what?
I'm 65. I'm
Incredible.
blessed to be here. And a cancer
Yes,
survivor, to God be the glory.
yes. I feel the same way, blessed and highly favored, and I give it all to God.
Yeah.
And I thank God for waking up every morning and for the path in which you set me down on a daily basis, and the pouring in and the support and the and learning and being closer in faith, and for everything that I have, and can't complain about what it is I don't have, because I woke up this morning and there's people that
That's
did
right.
not, you know.
That's right.
And so, and the other thing that I have to say, I'm getting a lot of responses, and people go, and I say to them all the time, when you watch those things, especially on television, it is television. Somebody is telling you their vision, their
Right.
vision. All I can say is hold yourself accountable, be responsible for yourself as an individual, do what you can do, what you can change, and what you cannot change, let it go, give it to God. And you will get through. You will get through. And speaking of getting through, now that she's asking again, where can people find this amazing series 1, Take the Limits Off, 9 Ways to Stop Talking and Start Doing? And I say it's series 1. I know more is to come. Can't wait, but they want to know how they can.
It is series 1.
Okay.
How they can get it. So go to seminarsbyjoyce.com, seminarsbyjoyce.com, and you can click on purchase the book. And when you purchase the book, I'm grabbing something, so that's why I'm leaning down. When you purchase the book, I'm going to autograph it, and then you're also going to get a pen.
Yes, I have.
I'm going to autograph the book. You're going to get your autograph copy. I sent it to you all the way in New York. Yep. So seminarsbyjoyce.com.
Yes.
And place your orders, and your book will be out within about 7 days. You'll have it.
Okay. And you want to let them know what special gift that you have for
Yes.
a few of our viewers?
So the first 2 people that email me at seminarsbyjoyce@gmail.com, 3 things that they're going to apply immediately to their life as a result of our interview today will receive a copy of the book. So the first 2 people then email me at seminarsbyjoyce@gmail.com. 3 tips or steps, 3 takeaways from this amazing podcast interview that you're going to apply immediately to your life. You will get a book. So the first 2.
Yes. Okay. Now, I'm telling you, you better jump on it, because I shared as much as I could share without sharing everything. So we had some more comments. That is a great number. Great genes. Okay, there you go. Girl, Fountain of Youth has nothing on you. Better watch. You might be coming out with some beauty products next.
Are they commenting? Were they commenting from Facebook or Instagram?
The gram, I can't see what's going on because Graham is having a little stuckness going on, but that's okay, because either way, I will make sure that I post this. But what I'm reading from is what is this? This is the YouTube. This is YouTube.
Okay.
And then the Facebook, only way I would be able to see that. Let me see if I can see anything, but I'm going to go back and check anyway, not to worry. And I will post it.
Okay.
Regardless of the fact.
That's wonderful.
And
when you share it, I'll share it, because people are texting me.
Okay.
They can't wait.
Okay. So yes, I'm going to do that as soon as we get off. But see, everybody who knows that sometimes we go through some warfare on the Sonya Dungee podcast, and they know I'm going to jump to the next one, and I'm going to jump to the next one, and I'm going to find her. Yep. And that's what we did. So also, speaking of find, how do we find you on social media?
Okay, so Joyce Dungee-Proctor on Facebook. Joyce Dungee-Proctor on Facebook.
Okay.
And Seminars by Joyce. Seminars by Joyce on IG.
Okay.
And I have a Captivating Career Facebook group. A Captivating Career Facebook group. So interestingly enough, I have a personal Facebook page, and I have a business Facebook page and a private Facebook group. Facebook I've been on since 2009, so I'm there a lot. But I'm also on Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So Seminars by Joyce on Instagram. Joyce Dungee-Proctor. Once you put my name in, it'll come up for a couple of other things. So connect. That's wonderful.
Got you. And I suggest that everybody follow her, because I love. As soon as I see you sitting in the car, I'm like, oh, she's about to say something. Yeah, and I make sure I'm 100%.
That's my office.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my.
That's my quiet place. That's my quiet place.
Yes. But
this was beautiful. I think.
Thank you. Beautiful. You are definitely doing your thing out there and on social media for sure. And like I said, definitely changing lives. And that is phenomenal, to say the very least. And like I said, you definitely empower me. You lift me up. And I always look forward to what you are going to say next. And now that I know that you're not that far away, I definitely want to be able to join in on one of your seminars by Joyce for sure. I could always use some uplifting, and I'm learning to speak much better in the professional atmosphere, without the ums and the this and the that. In the beginning it was just new to me, but I just feel like God is guiding me, and I just say what it is I have to say. And if it doesn't always come out the way I want it to, I still said it. But I'm learning.
I love that you're doing it anyway. I love that you're not allowing imperfection to silence you. I was deathly shy and afraid to speak in public. I would not even walk into a room alone. And so I know what can happen. And keep doing what you do. Keep using what you have. I'm telling you, just keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't allow that to stop you from pursuing your dreams.
Thank you so much.
We all have to start somewhere.
Yes. You hear that? We all have to start somewhere. That the whole point is just start and just
Yeah.
move forward. One day more than the day before is all that it takes. So, in conclusion, one
All
more
right.
thing I want to ask of you. And I always ask my guests
Okay.
to please finish the phrase. Be always destined
Okay.
for blank. What would you say to that?
Greatness.
Yes.
I
See
mean,
that?
greatness. Yeah,
Yes.
always destined for greatness.
Thank you. Your greatness,
That's the
your
first thing that
greatness.
comes to my mind.
Yes, but that's true. But greatness can be measured differently. So for me,
Yes.
what I say is your greatness, your very
Yes.
best. Don't
Yes.
compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. Be authentically you.
Comparison is a dream stealer.
Oh, I
I'm
love
telling you
that.
right now. It's a dream
Yes.
stealer.
You're
It
going to hear
truly
that
is.
again. You're going to definitely hear
Good. You
that
should,
again.
because it is. You'll steal your dreams because there's so much glitter and gold out there, and if you're looking at that and comparing yourself, it could shut you down. But what you want to do
Yes.
is keep that focus narrow, keep that focus on your dreams, your calling, getting better each day, tweaking yourself, that you're comparing yourself to yourself the day before, the minute before, the night before. That's what it's about. And getting the support that you need to move you forward so that you can pursue your goals and your dreams. And that's what Take the Limits Off is all about. Taking the limits off is letting go, it's letting God. But the bottom line is, once you do that, you free yourself to pursue your goals and dreams so that you can be what you are called to be and live out your life to the fullest.
Yes. What better way to conclude tonight's episode of the Sonya Dungee podcast, episode 142, with our special guest, Joyce Dungee-Proctor. I want to thank you
142.
so much for joining. And this won't be the last time, for sure. We definitely would like to have you back again. And
Absolutely.
I hope that everybody found value. And so whether you watch the replay or you're watching live, I'm going to post afterwards. So please comment that you found value for sure, because this is the reason why we do what we do. Because if we're not bringing value, then we need to reassess. And I truly believe that you got a lot of value here today. And there was a lot of relatability. I mean, you couldn't pay for the things in here. I feel like we had a free course tonight. I feel like we actually had a master class that I do once a month today. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you for joining. I want you to know that
You're
I love you
welcome.
so much. I value you. I
I love you.
appreciate you to the most. And I am looking for the greatness that is going to be coming in 2025. And for us all, remember to stay resilient in 2025. Be safe, stay well. God bless you all, and bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.